Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Uche. In this video I will be sharing with you how I made this lovely layered skirt. If this sounds like what you're interested in, make sure to hit on that subscribe button. It is absolutely free. Turn on your post notifications so you get notified whenever I upload videos like this, and do not forget to drop your comments. Okay, so these are the fabrics I made use of. I have here a tiny piece of lining, and I also have these two Ankara piece. So you can decide to match 3 different Ankara. You can decide to use just one Ankara, but for me I'm going to be matching these 2 Ankaras. Okay, so for my lining piece I have length 13.5 inches for the join of the skirt and the waistband together. Okay, so what I'm working with actually is 13 inches. So, and for the wideness of what I have my hip measurement, which is 42 inches plus extra 10 inches, which is 52 in total. Okay, hope you understood. So what I have here for the wideness is 52 inches, 42 inches my hip measurement plus 10 inches, which gave me 52 inches in total. All right, so for the length of my skirt I want it to be about 21 inches, and for what I have here, the length of the lining piece is 13 inches. I'm going to minus the length of the lining piece from my men's skirt length, okay, which gave me 8 inches. So the 8 inches now is going to be the length of each of the ruffles. Hope you got what I just explained. So 13 inches here. By the time I add an 8 inches ruffle, it's going to complete the length of my skirt. So these are my fabric. I've already cut them out, and the length is 9 inches. Like I said earlier, I want the ruffles to be 8 inches. So I have 9 inches here because 1 inch will be used to hem the down part. Okay, so and for the wideness of what I have, I multiplied what I have on the lining piece. Remember, it's 52 inches. I multiplied it by 1.5 inches, okay, which gave me 78 inches. So the wideness of this Ankara piece is 78 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead to hem one part. Okay, I'll go ahead to hem one part. I will fold it ½ inch twice, and I will sew, and the other side as well. I will go ahead to run a loose stitch on it so I can be able to gather it. Okay. So guys, I've done as I explained. So I have hemmed one side. I have also run gather stitch on the other side, and I did this same thing for the whole 3 pieces. Okay, so I will go ahead to gather this up to the 52 inches, which is the wideness of my lining piece. I'll go ahead to gather it up to the 52 inches. Okay, so I'll keep gathering it. So after gathering, I made sure that it was up to that 52 inches. Okay, so I'm going ahead to measure it so you all can see. Okay, so after getting what you want, the wideness of what you have on the lining piece, I'm going to start joining. So I'm going to start from the down part. Okay, I'm going to place it like this, right side of the lining piece to right side of the ruffle. I'm going to place it like this, and I'll go ahead to sew. So before I sew, I'm going to mark out 1 inch from the beginning. Okay, I'm going to mark out 1 inch. I will also repeat the same thing on the other side of the lining piece. So I'm not going to sew on this part where I marked a chalk. So I'm going to sew away 1 inch. You will understand as we proceed. I'm not going to sew from the beginning. I will leave about 1 inch before I start sewing. I will do this when I get to the other side. I will also leave 1 inch. Okay, so I'll go ahead to sew. So after sewing, you can see what I have. So this is what I am trying to explain. You can see I did not start from the beginning. I left about 1 inch before sewing. I'm going to go ahead to sew the second line, also right side of the Ankara to the right side of the lining piece. You can see the way I placed it. I will go ahead to also leave 1 inch before I sew. As you can see, when I get to the other end as well, I'll repeat the same thing, leave 1 inch and sew. After sewing, you can see what I have. I still did the same thing. I did not start from the beginning. Just follow the process. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to sew the last layer. Okay, so I'm going to place the last layer directly on it like this. So the wrong side of the Ankara to the right side of the lining piece. Okay, this time around you're placing it directly like so. Also sew away 1 inch. Okay, and the other side as well, also sew away 1 inch. Leave 1 inch before you start sewing. Okay, so these are the 3 layers right now. The next step is to close the lining piece together. So you're going to put the lining piece together like this. So you're going to go ahead to sew only on the lining piece. So you are going to push all the ruffles inside. That is the whole idea of sewing away 1 inch. Okay, so you're going to push all the whole Ankara piece inside, and you will go ahead to sew only the Ankara piece. Okay, I'll go ahead to do that and I'll bring it back. So after sewing, you can see what I have. You can see the Ankara pieces are on their own. We did not sew it together with the lining piece. Okay, so the next thing, you're going to also go ahead to close the whole of the Ankara piece by placing it like this. Can you see right side facing right side like this? Is actually very simple. You're going to go ahead to sew together. You're going to repeat the same thing for the 3 layers. Okay, so guys, I am right here on my machine sewing just like I explained earlier. As you can see, after sewing the first one, I am sewing the second one, and after the second one, you also sew the last one. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, this is a reminder that you should kindly do that. It is absolutely free. Okay, so I am done sewing the 3 layers, and you can see we have a little opening there just because we did not sew the lining and the fabric together. So you're going to go ahead to close the little space you have right there. Okay, you can see you're going to go ahead to sew it together with the lining piece, just the way I am doing it this way. So guys, after sewing, this is what I have. You can see how clean and beautiful it is looking. So the next thing is to go ahead to sew in your waistband. For the waistband, you're going to cut out exactly the measurement you cut out on your lining piece. Remember that mine was 52 inches, so I cut out that same 52 inches, adding about 2 inches to it. Okay, so I don't run out of fabric. And for the length, I have 4 inches. All right, so you're going to go ahead to sew. So the right side of my waistband to the wrong side of the skirt, I'm going to go ahead to sew all round, and after sewing I will bring it back. So guys, I am done sewing, and you can see everything I explained. So I did not join the sides, I just sew in, and I'm going to go ahead to cut out the excess I have here like this. So after cutting it out, I will go ahead to close the side of my waistband, and then I will sew the remaining part. So after doing all that, this is what I have. I'm going to fling my fabric to the right side, as you can see. So this is what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead now to fold in 1/2 inch this way. So I will use this 1/2 inch right now to cover the rough edge, which is the first edge we made earlier. So I'm going to use it to cover it like this, like you can see, so everything will be neat. I will go ahead to sew all around, but I'm just going to leave a tiny allowance where I'll be inserting my elastic through. Okay, so I'll go ahead to do all that, and I'll bring it back. So I've done exactly what I explained earlier, and this is what the waist is looking like. So this is a little allowance I left where I will be passing through my elastic. This is a 1 inch elastic, so I'm going to minus 5 inches from my actual waist measurement. My waist measurement is 32 inches. I will minus 5 inches from the 32 inches, which gave me 27 inches. After cutting it out, I'm going to use my safety pin to insert it through that little opening I have on my skirt. I'm going to take this all around, like you can see me doing like this. So as you pull, you're going to adjust. Okay, so I'm going to do this till I come out from that same place where I started from. So after it was done, you can see what I have. The next step is to go ahead to sew in the two elastic together like this. So I'm going to sew it multiple times in order to secure it very well. So after sewing it, I also went ahead to close that little space I have there. And if you found the video helpful, kindly hit on the subscribe button. It is free. Share and drop your comments so others can as well see my video. And guys, I want to plead with you, follow me on my Facebook page as Stitches by Uche. I also share sewing content on my Facebook. I will be dropping the name on my screen. Thank you for watching.